table number 3, I think that's like a super easy 3-bet. On flops like this, we got like 1.5x pot, and King Jack 3 is not a flop where you will ever like bet fold in 3-bet, and therefore I'm pretty confident I'll just pot all of my range. You can make some arguments for betting smaller with like your nut range and nut low range. Like if you got 6, 7, 8, 9 double suited, you can bet like 40, and you can do the same if you have like kings. But I think when you call, he's a pretty tight player, so I'm fine with just like potting almost all of my range here. And well, I think this is a pretty bad play by him. I think it's easy. If you raise the button with this kind of hand, you have to fold against a 3-bet with less than 30 big blinds. You will just get run over on too many boards and don't flop well enough. So pretty happy with the way I play this hand, and I'll make like tons of money in this hand, or not tons of money, but tons of big blinds, and my EV is pretty big. Table number 1, I open King 7, 8 on the hijack, and yeah, there's not much to say about it. I think super standard versus I'm so or common top deck. If they 3-bet, you can probably fold if they got like pretty tight 3-betting range on the cutoff and hijack, cutoff and button, sorry. And the thing is, I got a pretty tight open, and I'm sure like a play like I'm so will notice it, so he won't 3-bet me too wide or in position. He'll rather just take a flop and play from there. If you got like some rundowns and hands like that. 5, 6, 9 is not a hand that is not a flop I hit very well with my hijack range. So I think the best play here is to check behind if he checks. I think it's not too bad to lead those flop when you call from big blind and hijack raiser, because they're just not gonna be able to continue like against the turn flop lead, turn lead, and maybe river lead if the board runs out. But if he calls the 2 streets, he's probably got something, and you gotta think about what you really want to get him off and what he's been calling you 2 streets with if he decides to like lead, flop, and turn. But yeah, so the thing is, I think it's decent hand to balance with your check behind range. There's not like any bad turn for me that I can't continue on. I don't feel like I'm super happy about like raising the turns if the turn is like 9, 6, 5. But I think I can call 2 streets anyway, and yeah. The turn is an ace. That's not ideal for me, because now I'm in lose value against like flop 2 pairs and hands like that. So I just think I'll try to prep something, and like by betting a bit more than half the pot here, I think he might raise some of his value hands, like 2 pair with aces up, and maybe can do some blocker bluffs or something stupid. But anyways, I don't think it's happened too often against like a good player like the cleaner, and I'll just hope he'll call here and I can get a value bet in on the river. But when he checks the turn, he usually don't have anything here. Hand number 3. You can see he opened pretty much from the middle MP, like 38%. That's pretty much in this kind of games. And Divash, he didn't seem like a wildcat, to be honest, but I just like look at his stats for today's session. He got 50% 3-bet, and he seems like tilted in some kind of way. So I think it's pretty easy 4-bet here. By calling, I'll get in toadfishy, but he probably got like a decent playability with his hand, and he can make like all the correct decisions on the flop. So I'm just happy to stick it in here. I got a decent hand, and he had a pretty good hand himself, but I was lucky to hold up.